All right. So we're going to be using a library called Bootstrap. It's a CSS library that has a lot of industry strength snippets of code that we can readily reuse for creating our own widgets. Okay, and it provides lots and lots of CSS rules and transformations that will make it very, very easy for us to create applications that are responsive, right? That play nice with all sorts of sizes of windows, including obviously mobile phones and tablets and whatnot. Okay, so let me go over this real quick. You can go to the website at getbootstrap.com, and I encourage you to review this the website, become familiar where to find things. I'm not going to expect that you know everything here, but you should be aware that they have lots and lots of documentation and how to install it, and how to include it, how it's organized, and some start examples, some examples to get you started, right? And we're going to be using one of these examples to get us going. All right. Now the library is documented, starting with these three tabs at the top. Right. So there's the CSS, and you can see how it shows how tables are styled, how forms are styled, how buttons are styled, and whatnot, right? So just go through some of these examples, right? If you think you want to build something, some layout, first come and search this library. See if they already have something for you, all right? And feel free to reuse their snippets of code, right, to replicate it for yourself. Okay, this is entirely appropriate, right, to reuse these widgets from here. Okay, it is not appropriate whatsoever to reuse some of your colleagues' source code. All right, so there's plenty of things here that are useful for you to reuse. So today we're going to start with one of the sample. One of the sample code snippets, right? So there's a couple here that we can get that are appropriate. Let's maybe use this one over here. Okay. So one of the things that you'll notice that this snippet of code, notice that it's responsive. That as I resize the page, right, it seems to be adapting to the size of the screen, right, up until I reach a threshold that becomes that is targeting small screens such as phones. Okay, right. Anything bigger than that, right? It provides a full-blown menu at the top. Okay, and it becomes wider and wider as I give it more and more space. And that's what we refer to as being responsive, right? That at any screen size, the website is entirely usable, right? Things are not wrapping weirdly; they're not overlapping each other. Notice that there is no scroll bar, right? There's no horizontal scroll bar, only a scroll bar up and down. Yes, vertical scroll bar, all right? Okay, so we're going to get started using this. This will be the homepage, right, of our assignment. Yes, not the homepage of our entire website, although this would be an appropriate homepage for the website, right? But I'm going to leave that up to you. Whatever you want to do for the landing page for the course. This is going to be the landing page for the assignment, right? Which would also be an appropriate landing page also for the project as well. Right, if you want to reuse some of this as well, that would be completely appropriate. All right, so I'm going to inspect, and I'm going to do the page source. Notice here that if you do a right click, you have two options here. We have the view the page source. That's the original document that was downloaded right from the server and is currently being rendered on the page. I can look at the source code. There it is. Well, that's the original document. This is in contrast with inspect. Right? Inspect, right, on the right-hand side, this is not the document that was downloaded, even though it is the content that is being rendered. Right? This is what we refer to as the DOM. This is the browser's interpretation of this ASCII file. Right? The browser parsed this ASCII file, and this is what it understood. Right? And it's rendering. Hopefully, what we wrote is actually what gets rendered. Right? That but oftentimes we make mistakes. We forget to close an element. We mistype something. Right? But the browsers are very good at guessing what we meant. Okay? And it will make its best guess in its interpretation of what you wrote. There might be errors in the original document, but the browser will make its best effort. So this is the best effort at the browser having interpreted that ASCII file. Make sense? Right? Yeah. So I'm going to start with this document. I'm going to save it, and I'm going to save it in my local content directory that I have created for this course, and I believe it's under Annunziato and NEU webdev 2017 summer 2 webdev Northeastern, and then this is going to be the index page for my assignment. So I'm going to put it on the public assignment, and I'll drop it right in there. Right now, that index page is useless. Right? It just says assignment. That's all it says. Right? So I'm going to replace this. I'm going to say save. Okay? If I navigate to my current assignment, let's see, it's under index, and that's my assignment here. There's my assignment. If I go in there, it's not there. Wait, what? Did I put it in the right place? Did I save it? I did, didn't I? Oh, HTML. HTML. Okay. Let me fix that. So it downloaded as HTML. I'm guessing. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. Ooh, that looks ugly. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy. I'm just going to paste it in there. There it is. That's more readable. Much more readable. I'm going to throw away my version, and I'm just going to rename this to be HTML. There it is. So if I refresh, there it is. Notice that that's the content that we had before, but it's not style. It looks awful. Right? So we're going to have to bring in some of the style sheets that the original HTML was using, which is right here. If you look at the source code, we'll see that there are a couple of links referring to other CSS files. Right? Notice that it's referring to bootstrap min CSS. It's also referring to bootstrap theme min CSS and several other things in there, right? And some JavaScript that we're not going to need, right? So this bootstrap, if we click on it, notice it'll actually go to the bootstrap implementation, right? So I'm going to save this. I'm going to save it locally here. An appropriate place to put this is in a directory called CSS. So we'll put CSS, right? And we'll drop it in there. We'll drop it in there. Let's go back to our content. Let's go back to our content. And we can change this to refer to our new bootstrap min, which is we just downloaded. Right? It's that bootstrap min right there. Let's refresh our page, see if it looks any better. Okay, it looks a little better, right? It has the styling of the buttons. It has the styling of the header at the top, but it's not quite what we want. I'm sure we're missing a couple more things here. Probably missing the Bootstrap theme. Let's download that as well. Let's download that and put it maybe in the same place. Okay, and let's see if we are missing anything else. Viewer, that's an IE10 bug that I'm not going to support. Custom themes, probably this will need as well. So let's download that as well. Save. And let's change ours to point to our new Bootstrap theme. There it is. And also this is under CSS as well. And we're not supporting any workaround. Let's see if we have enough here. There it is. Okay, so this is looking more and more to what we had originally. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Okay, everybody okay? Yes. Well, we're doing this because we are reusing somebody else's. Right? In our case, we're going to build our own from scratch. Right? So there we're going to be tying to the actual libraries ourselves from scratch. Yep. Okay. Yes.
Are you allowed to use packages from Node or Bootstrap?
Like npm install Bootstrap? Yes. Yeah, we'll cover that now. Yes. So notice that what I did here is that I downloaded the CSS right onto my laptop. Right. A little bit more appropriate way to do this is that we can ask npm to install any package that we need, right, including Angular, Bootstrap, or any other libraries that you might be thinking of. Right now, we don't have a Bootstrap installed locally, do we? I don't believe so. Yeah, we don't. I don't believe so, right? So right now we did it by downloading the Bootstrap libraries. A more appropriate way would be to install those libraries. So we could do npm, right? Install Bootstrap. Right? So this is going to copy down the library, the Bootstrap library, and it's going to create an entry point inside of our Node.js directory where we have all our libraries installed in there, right? So for instance, we have, there it is, Bootstrap. Okay, and Bootstrap has its own directory structure and how it organizes its content. Okay, and we're going to need at least 3 of the library directories that are under here. Okay, because we don't just need the CSS. We need a little more than that. Okay, because there's images and there's fonts and there's a whole bunch of several content that we're going to need as well, right? That we actually never downloaded, right? But that's going to be very tedious if we want to download each individual resource, right? Instead, it's a preferred way is to just install it locally and copy what we need, right? So we're going to copy the dist. We're going to copy the JS, and we're going to copy the fonts. Okay, we're going to copy it locally on our public directory. Right? We're going to put it in a place where we can share it and use it all across our website. Not only our assignments, but we can also reuse it in our projects. Right? If we decide to host it here, right? We can use it all across our entire website. Right? So let's create a placeholder for it. Let's see what's going to the public directory. Right? I already have a directory vendor. Right? So here I have a directory vendor. A very common place to put resources that you don't own, right? That you're using somebody else's resources. A very common place to put it is under a directory called vendor, right? To distinguish it from things that you have built. Okay? And Bootstrap is indeed a library that we don't own. So we'll create a directory for it. We'll call it Bootstrap. Oops. Bootstrap. Bootstrap. Right? And so I'm going to grab those 3 directories dist, font, and no, that's it. Well, actually JS2. We'll copy that and we'll put it under the bootstrap directory. Okay, there it is, right? And now we have this is installed locally on our server and be ready to be hosted right from our servers, right? It's okay as you're developing. This is okay, but at the end, when you deploy this, when this goes out into production, right? When you're done developing, which will be at the end of the semester, right? I will ask you to, instead of using these local bootstrap instances, right, to use a CDN version, all right? And I'll show you how to do that a little later. Right? In production, it's better to use CDN libraries instead of hosting them yourselves. But for developing, it's very convenient to have them installed locally on your machines because it helps you with the type ahead and the browser and the IDE really works with you if you have them installed right on your machine. So for now, it's okay to put them here. Later in the semester, we're going to use CDN versions instead. Okay. All right. So let's change our bootstrap, our HTML to instead we have downloaded our bootstrap, and it's right now it's located where? Let's see. It's under vendor. It's only under bootstrap. It's under, let's see what's under there. Dist. Then we have CSS. Right. Then we have bootstrap min. Notice that all these libraries have a min version. Okay. These min version, if you click on them, are illegible. Okay. And the intent is for all these libraries to remove any unnecessary white spaces, right? To decrease the amount of time that it takes to download these libraries and store them and cache them on the browser. Okay, same thing with JavaScript files. They are also oftentimes minimized, right, to reduce time of download. Let's do the same thing for vendor here. Dist for the theme. And I don't believe we have the theme is probably not part of the distribution, is something that overrides. Yes? I'm sorry? I did? Oh, they're already there? Oh, okay. Well, now I showed you how they got there. So if we refresh, hopefully this still looks the same. Yeah, actually, it looks the same. All right. All right. So we have that. Notice that up here we have some links. We can add additional links here, such as we can add a link to log in, another link to register, and maybe another link to go to the profile page, and maybe another link maybe to log out. Okay, not all at the same time, right? If you haven't logged in, it makes sense that you're showing a login and a registration page, link. But if you logged in, it doesn't make sense to show a login and a registration link, right? So later on, we will make this dynamic. Depending on whether you logged in or not, we'll show or hide different links depending on what you are, what your state is. Probably will want also an admin link. If you're an administrator, we'll have an administrator link here that will allow you to navigate to a location that allows you to administer the application. Right now, we're going to hardcode these links to navigate to different sections. The login is going to navigate to the login page. Login. Register is going to navigate to register. Register. And then profile will go to profile. Logout is not going to go anywhere. So I'll just leave it there. And this will probably go somewhere admin.html. Logout, well, you can decide whether to go to log. That makes sense. Yeah, you're right. Either login page, or you might decide to go to the home page. Right? Either one would be fine. So right now, if we click on login, it doesn't go anywhere, right? And so let's create our first bootstrap login page here using a form. Right, so let's do that next.